Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Now in Indonesia is 10 a.m. and we will move to the second topic, the purpose of Islamic psychology. For the second topic, Dr. Nisa Rahmanur Anganthi will be the moderator. Dr. Nisa, are you here?
Assalamualaikum, Mbak Gita.
Waalaikumsalam, Dr. Nisa. Again, please proceed the main screen and the time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Miss Gita. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asrofil anbiya'i wal mursalin. Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajmain. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh la nabiyya ba'dah. Rabbi israh li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Amma ba'du. Let's be grateful for the favor that has been given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala together. In the form of favor of faith and Islam, also the health and the opportunity, so that we can join in learning international course of Islamic psychology together easily. And certainly, salawat and salutation we give for our prophet Nabiullah Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as the last prophet. Hopefully, by his likeness, we can get grace, blessing, and forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, hello everyone. Good morning, Mr. Bagus. I'm pleasure to meet you again, Mr. Bagus. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. I hope you always given hidayah, inayah, and rahmat from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Amin.
Today, I'm standing here in front of you all. I would like to accompany you to listen together about the purpose of Islamic psychology that is presented by Mr. Bagus Riyono. Why is the purpose of Islamic psychology must be known all of academic activator of psychology? There is a reason about that. Islamic psychology is based on Tawhid. So by this reason, the implementation of Islamic psychology as a science include of ontology, epistemology, and axiology are very different from contemporary psychology or the Western psychology, especially in application of the worldview, the way of life, and the framework for Muslim. Tawhid is a source of everything, include of science. All of science element must be based on and refer to Tawhid. Al-A'raf 172 and Arum 20. As a Muslim, we are tied of fitrah commitment that is known as primordial commitment to acknowledge Allah as creator or Tawhid Rububiyah, worship or Tawhid Uluhiyah, and Asma'ul Husna honor or Tawhid Asma wa Sifat. Therefore, let's follow the presentation of Mr. Bagus Riyono about the purpose of Islamic psychology together. Please, Mr. Bagus Riyono, the time is yours.
Thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alhamdulillah wa syukurillah wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah, asyhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah. Allahumma sholli ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi asma'in amma ba'du. Let me share the slide first. the purpose is very important in Islam, actually, as an idea about the future. It's an idea about the destination, and it's also an idea about the reason, yeah, why. So when we talk about the purpose, then we ask why do we need Islamic psychology? So I will present to you the reason why Islamic psychology is not just important, but is wajib, yeah, for us, especially for Muslim. Actually, or not only for Muslim, but all for those who seek for true happiness.
Mr. Bagus,
Yeah, maybe there is
please, yeah.
left
Please
from
again.
this. We wait. Okay. Pak Bagus, hello. The connection unstable, I think.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I think there is Bulila here. Bulila, okay. You still here, Bulila?
Yes, Alhamdulillah. Thank you, Pak Taufik.
Yeah, Bulila. I think you have to be moderator tomorrow, I think. Yeah, Bulila.
Allah. Inshallah.
Bu Anis also still here, but always busy in the car. And
No, heading to camp.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, we are waiting Pak Bagus now. Actually, Bu Nisa, there is a question from Gita and Shakira from Nigeria about Gita asked about as a science how Islamic psychology sees freedom as part of making choices. And the second Shakira asked about what's the English name of rule. Maybe you can saying two questions to Pak Bagus after he present the paper.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Many questions for Mr. Bagus, I think.
Yeah, many questions. Okay.
Because this topic is very interesting for us.
Yeah, very interesting for all people here.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, many participants come from many countries, from India, from Nigeria, from Brunei Darussalam, from Filipina, from Malaysia, from Singapore, and many others. Okay, and okay. Pak Bagus coming.
Coming, okay, Alhamdulillah.
Bagus.
I'm sorry. I think I have a problem because it's too much heat.
Doesn't matter, Mr. Bagus.
Yeah, that I plug it to the electricity. So maybe it's too much heat. So now I unplug it. Hopefully the problem will not there anymore. Okay.
Doesn't matter.
Uh,
okay, please, Mr. Bagus.
All right, let's restart the presentation. Oh, I need to be allowed to share screen again because it was restarted. My computer was restarted. So please. Okay. All right. So when we talk about the purpose, so we are trying to ask why. Okay, why we need Islamic psychology, and it also related with the previous topic about science. Islamic psychology need to be released from the trap of secular science and the secular paradigms, because we can see that when we don't, when we are not aware of the worldview behind the current science and current psychology, then this what we are doing might be guided by the wrong ideas. Yeah, so that's why Islamic psychology is a must for us as a Muslim. And it's a matter of word. First, it's a matter of worldview. Yeah, because the true psychology, actually Islamic psychology is the original psychology, because the original psychology, the word psychology came from the understanding about the psyche. Yeah, psyche means the soul. We already remember that. And then the development of conventional psychology, they are moving away from the soul. They are you know, sorry, I have to open doors. I'm back. That's what happened when you work at home. Yeah, you have to answer for the door. All right. So since the development of psychology is moving away from the soul, so Islamic psychology will bring us back to the original psychology, which is the study of the soul. Okay, and I will show you the evidence here. What happened when we deny the soul, when we moving away from the soul, yeah, of the essence of the soul. Okay. Okay, let me just move forward. Okay, so why the soul is important? This is the first thing that we have to answer. Why the soul is important, and that will answer why Islamic psychology is the psychology that we should pursue. Yeah, that we should adopt. Yeah, in our mindset and our discipline. So because when we are not aware, or when we do not focus on the soul, there's a risk here. There's a danger that we will trap into the secular paradigm, or the paradigm that doesn't consider the soul as the essence of our life. So this is the illustration. This is a documentary about the current science, yeah, especially the Darwinian paradigm, which is secular and does not believe in God. Yeah, we will listen to the statement of the professor from Cornell University about the worldview of the current science, and that and also influence the psychology.
I'd seen the chilling effect that this unquestioning devotion to Darwinism has had on science, but were there other consequences?
No gods, no life after death, no ultimate foundation for ethics, no ultimate meaning in life, and no human free will are all deeply connected to an evolutionary perspective. You're here today and you're gone tomorrow, and that's all there is to it.
Dr. Will Provine, professor of the history of biology at Cornell University, gave us another disturbing glimpse into where Darwinism can lead.
All right, this is a short statement, but it's very important. This is the fundamental mindset of the secular science and also the secular psychology, if you may say. So he said that the current worldview in science, they don't believe in God. Yeah, they only see this world as a material things. They have this materialistic paradigm. They deny Allah. They do not believe in soul, and they do not believe in the afterlife. Yeah, so that this worldview will have an impact on the mental health, that will have a consequences on mental health. So these are some consequences that will happen to our mental health if we adopt this mindset. Okay, one by one I will read it. He said that there is no meaning in life. If you don't believe in the soul, if you don't believe in Allah, you don't believe in the after death, the life after death, the hereafter, then you will be confused about this life. You won't find meaning of this life. You won't find meaning of suffering, the meaning of sickness, the meaning of whatever that you think doesn't give you a good feeling. So that's why you only see something meaningful if you have good feeling about it. Okay, so the true meaning of life is not understood. And then we will be anxious about death because it's dark. What is death? Why is everybody die? You cannot explain that. You cannot have understanding about that because you don't believe in the soul. You don't believe in the hereafter, because the soul is the one that will continue living even when we die. Yeah, when our body died. When we die, the one who died is the body, but the soul still live on. Yeah. So if we don't believe in the soul, if we don't accept the existence of the soul, then we cannot understand. We cannot comprehend the meaning of death. Yeah. Okay. So that's why death is becoming something that terrorizes us, because it's dark. There's nothing that we can imagine after death. And then another consequences is if we see that life is only in this world, then we will maximize our possession, our happiness, satisfaction. Then it will make us a greedy person. Yeah, will make us greedy person. That's what happened in this world right now. Everybody want to be more richer, more powerful. Yeah, they fight for resources because they doesn't want to miss this world. They just want to maximize everything because they don't know what it will happen after death, right? That what make them greedy. When actually when I listen to the economists, yeah, when they talk about capitalism, the core value of capitalism is greed, you know. So they say that you cannot afford greed in the economic system. So it's you know, it's very un-Islamic actually, yeah, because they don't believe in the life after death. And also anger, yeah, because you want to have everything while you're still alive, and if you see somebody else, you know, take over what you think it's supposed to be yours, you will be angry because you don't see the meaning beyond this you know, phenomena. What you can do is to be angry. So that's why there are lots of violence in this world. Yeah, the greed and anger is two sides of a coin. Yeah, so when you are greedy, then you will be easily to be angry. Okay, and then also frustration, because when you reflect about the life in this world, you will see that not everything that you want you can get. Yeah, not everything that you expect can be fulfilled. So you will be frustrated. Okay, because you don't see the meaning beyond failures, the meaning beyond losing something. Yeah, and you will lose hope, especially when you become closer to death, you become older and you become weaker, then you will become more frustrated and more, I mean, lose hope, because you see that the end is near, and then you think that you don't have any opportunity or any further enjoyment in life, then you will lose hope. Okay, that's why but actually this not only happen in the old age, because even when you are still young, but if you don't understand the essence of life, you don't understand the soul and the hereafter, then you will be easily losing hope. And we witness that the rate of suicide is increasing, yeah, because they are losing hope. They don't see meaning in the life, in this life. Okay, so this is very bad for our mental health. And that's why the development of psychology doesn't help the development of the civilization in current times. Yeah, when we learn about Islamic psychology, when we understand the true meaning of life, then we will have the opportunity to improve or to pursue a better civilization, a greater civilization, a more noble civilization. What is happening right now in this world is that the civilization is crumbling. Yeah, they are not developing, they are not improving, but they are crumbling. There are so many wars and so many, you know, this conflict. Yeah, because they are greedy and they are angry. Yeah, and you want to have it all. Yeah, so that's the problem of this worldview. And in Islamic worldview, that will be also adopted in Islamic psychology, we believe in God. Yeah, life is a journey from Allah to Allah. So this life is not our, this world is not our real home. Our home is in the hereafter. So this world is only a journey. This is also well stated by Imam Al-Ghazali in the Alchemy of Happiness. Yeah, that he said that if you want to be happy, you have to see that this life in this world is only a journey, and you will be going home after that. So home is where we we find peace. Yeah, home is where we can find peace in our heart. So that's why if we change our mindset, if we can understand the truth about this life, we will be peaceful. Yeah, and this is the very important mindset in Islam and also Islamic psychology. And then the true life is in the hereafter. Yeah, the true life, the true home. So one of the hadiths say that when we died, as if we are getting up from a deep sleep with all dreams that we have in this life. Yeah. And in the Quran, it's also mentioned that when we die, when we enter the hereafter, we will reflect that the life in this world is just like a flash. Yeah? It's like a half day of our life. Yeah. So it's very short. Our life in this world is very short. This is not our real life. This is the mindset of the Islamic psychology. Okay. And then what does this mindset impact our mental health? First, we will have everlasting hope. Yeah, we will not lose hope, because we know this is just temporary, because we know that our real home is in the hereafter. We know that our real happiness will manifest in the hereafter. So that will make us feel peaceful. Yeah? That will make our heart in peace. That will make us resilience, experiencing this life in this world, because this is not the end. This is just the journey. Yeah, the journey toward the real life. And then we will be, we less worry about everything, actually, about this world. So then if you still worry too much about this world, then maybe you don't need to do tazkiyah, yeah, to learn more about the essence of this world. Sometimes we worry about this world. We worry about who's going to be the president. We worry about the Russian war. We worry about the American, capitalism. So if we understand that this world actually is not the end, this is just the journey, it will, make our worry disappear. Okay, that's why a Muslim shouldn't worry too much about this world. And also, we will be, we will be easier for us to forgive. Why? Because if someone hurt us, actually it doesn't, it cannot make us suffer unless we let them, unless we let ourselves to suffer. Yeah, because when somebody do bad thing to us, we don't need to, do revenge, because it's their fault. When they do bad thing to us, it's their fault. It's not our fault. So to forgive is more healthier for us, and also for the other person who hurt us. Okay, so this forgiveness actually will be easier for us, because we know that, this world is just a journey. It's not the end. We will have we will have more, yeah, when we enter the hereafter. So we don't have to worry if you lose something here, with somebody cheat us, or somebody, lie to us and things like that. But that's their fault. It's not our fault. So we don't have to worry about it. We don't have to be so sad about it. Okay. All right. So this is why Islamic psychology actually is the true psychology that will ensure our mental health. Yeah. So having hope, you know, forgiving, no worry is the essential indicator of mental health. Okay. All right. So you have to ponder. Yeah, we have to rethink about our overview, and we can start from the indicators. Are we still worried about this world too much? Are we still worried if somebody steal from us? Are we still, you know, have this revenge in us when somebody hurt us? If so, then maybe we have the wrong worldview. Yeah, maybe we don't choose the right mindset about this life. Okay, so this is why when we learn Islamic psychology, inshallah, it will help us to become more peaceful, to become more forgiving, yeah, to become more or less worry, yeah, more peaceful, more hopeful, more forgiving, less worry. Okay. All right. So that's why we can say that Islamic psychology is a new paradigm in human science. It's not a total opposite, because some findings in the current scientific discipline may be useful, but we will see it from a different perspective. We'll see it from a different paradigm. Yeah. For example, if the positive psychology introduced about hope and gratitude, it's good, but then we don't see it as just a relation between human beings. It has to be transcended into Allah, yeah, relation with Allah. When we have hope and base our hope only for to another human being, then this hope will not be strong enough, will be frail, yeah, because human being sometimes they change, yeah, people change, you know. Sometimes when you trust someone, you hope, you have a strong hope about someone, suddenly the someone changed and suddenly you are disappointed, right? But if we anchor our hope to Allah, then Allah will not disappoint you. So that's why we can accept the term hope, gratitude, flourishing, but we reorient our anchor toward Allah, not to the life of this world, not to other people, okay? Not even to ourselves, because ourselves is also dependent to Allah, yeah? So don't think that you can live by yourself. You have to always seek Allah's help, Allah's guidance, yeah, in your life. This is the mindset of the Islamic psychology. So that's why when you are disturbed, when you feel angry, when you feel upset, then you go back to Allah, remember Allah, perform dua and istighfar, yeah. That's how we apply this mindset into our daily life. It doesn't mean that when we study Islamic psychology, then we will become a super person, never have you know, sadness. No. We just become more knowledgeable about what to do when we have experienced sadness, when we experience anxiety, when we experience anger, yeah. This knowledge will help us to heal from that. This knowledge doesn't make us to become a superhero or super person, superhuman. No, we are still the same human, but with the knowledge, we will have solution. This is what is said by Al-Balkhi in his book. He said that the best medicine is knowledge. The best cure for mental health, for mental illness is knowledge. Yeah. So the knowledge is very important. The mindset, the worldview is very, very important. Okay. The knowledge, as we all have learned from the Surat Al-Fusilat, the first number 53, yeah, this knowledge is something that we should acquire. Yeah, it's all, of course, Allah will give us the knowledge, but through a process, through a study. Yeah, so that's why you have to find evidence. You find evidence in this world, in the nature, and in ourselves, so that we can be sure. Yeah, we will have this strong belief about this truth. Yeah, but we also learn from the Quran to guide us to understand what is happening in our life. Okay, so this knowledge has to be acquired. That's why we need the Islamic psychology, a discipline. It's a discipline. Discipline means something that we have to do it seriously, yeah, continuously. Maybe the Imam Al-Ghazali's, have the term for this, mujahadah and riyadhah. Yeah, that's a discipline. So Islamic psychology is a discipline. It's our effort to have this knowledge that will help us to heal ourselves. Allah will give us through our effort. Allah doesn't give us for free, yeah, but we have to show our effort, our learning discipline, then Allah will give us the knowledge. Okay, so this is the mindset of Islamic psychology. And evidence, when we talk about evidence, in other words, evidence is a sign. Yeah, sign, the ayat, the alamat, the signs. Yeah, and the signs can be found. Yeah, where can we find this the signs, the evidence? We refer back to the Surah Fusilat, ayat 53. Yeah, and we will compare this with the conventional science and conventional psychology. Yeah, they talk about evidence-based science, but they only look for evidence from the observation, from the senses. Yeah, something that they can observe. But in Islamic psychology, we don't deny the observation, but we add two more important things. We can also find evidence from the universe, yeah, by observation, and also by contemplation, by understanding the meaning behind what we observe. And also we will find the sign from the revelation, from the wahyu, from the Quran. Okay, so Islamic psychology is not denying the current discipline of psychology, but it make it more perfect and more comprehensive. Okay, so that's why Islamic psychology should be stronger and more scientific than the conventional psychology. So if we put it in order, so the sign from revelation will be the highest, in the highest order. Yeah, and then the two is the next. Okay, and this is the verse again, that we have to find the signs, we have to study the signs, the ayat, in the universe, yeah, and also in ourselves, yeah, in the anfus, yeah, in our nafs, yeah, in the psychosocial dynamics, yeah, in human relation okay? But all of the science has to be confirmed by the Quranic verses, yeah, because the Quran is the guidance. The Quran is the essence of the whole universe and ourselves. So that's why when we study the Quran, maybe it's only one ayat, but it represents the whole universe. Yeah, it represents the whole issue. It's the essence of the whole issue. Okay. For example, if we pick the word tazkiyah, actually it represents the whole issue of positive effort, yeah, developmental effort, purifying effort, whatever, like the one that already asked by our brother, like marriage, and also is one form of tazkiyah, yeah. Seeking for knowledge is also one form of tazkiyah. So the word tazkiyah have a multi-dimensional meaning, but it's the essence is tazkiyah. Also zakat. Zakat is also has the root word the same as tazkiyah, is to purify our wealth, yeah, our treasure or whatever. It's more on material. Even when we treat our possession, we can also do tazkiyah by performing the zakat. Okay, so this is the example of how the Quran explain the essence of everything, so that whatever we observe in this world, in our lives, it will be a first about that if we really perform this discipline of study. Yeah, if we discipline ourselves to study seriously the Quran comprehensively. Okay. So Islamic psychology does not have, instead of only based on one method of inquiry, it is based on three source of science, three source of evidence. Okay. If we can just picture it in this diagram, first from the Quran, from the universe, and from ourselves, our nafs, yeah, the souls, yeah, our souls, yeah, not only us as one person, but us as a society. That's why in Islam, the meaning of ummah is very important. We are not living alone. We have to connect with each other, and we have to connect our souls with each other, yeah, so that we can empathize with others. Okay. So by saying that arguments, so Islamic psychology is actually more scientific than the conventional psychology. It's more comprehensive. It's more thorough, yeah, to find the evidence. We have three sources of evidence, while the conventional psychology is only one. So three is more than one, and three is more comprehensive than one. If you are familiar with the qualitative approach, they have the term triangulation. Yeah, you have to, if you want to know the truth, you have to have more than one source of information, a source of evidence. So you have to see the issue from multiple angles. Okay. So this is why the Islamic psychology is more scientific than the conventional psychology. And also this is why that Islamic psychology is the only psychology that can serve the purpose of human life, the purpose of the true life, the life of the soul that we have experienced, in the primordial world, and in the womb of our mother, and then in this world, and then we will go to the hereafter. So we have more understanding about ourselves, about our history, about our journey than the conventional psychology. So we are more scientific. So never hesitate about science, because science actually is a blessing from Allah, that was given to the Muslim scholars, but then it was corrupted by the Western, modern, secular civilization. So we have to purify the science. We have to purify the psychology so that we will gain back, we will take back the true understanding about our life, not the partial one. And it is more rigorous. The Islamic psychology has 3 sources of evidence, meaning that we can do validation more rigorously. We will have more opportunity to test the validity of our finding, because we have 3 source of evidence. Okay, so if we can test our knowledge by comparing to the observational study, like experiment, for example, but we can also test this validity through our logic, our heart, our conscience, and then ultimately we can test this validity with the message of the Quran. Does the Quran confirm this or not? So we have 3 source of validation process, that make us more stronger and undeniable. That it is already evidenced by the work of Al-Balkhi, that is undeniable by the current psychology. But for example, the work of Sigmund Freud is already denied. The work of Skinner is already denied, but the work of Al-Balkhi is still used. The work of Ibn Haytham is still used. There's no other theory about light except the theory of Ibn Haytham, because it's the truth. The theory about the lights, the theory about the spectrum, the theory that will give us inspiration about the knowledge of the expanding universe. All of those theories, all of those understanding is based from the theory of lights that was developed by Ibn Haytham with Allah's permission. Okay, so this Islamic psychology should have this characteristic also, should have the valid knowledge about human being, the valid knowledge about human life, and also the valid knowledge about the fate of human being, the future of. Okay, more valid and more reliable, as already proven by the theory of light and the theory of Al-Balkhi of the psychology, of the human, psychological problem, theory about psychological problem, and also the therapy, the Al-Balkhi's therapy. They call it is similar to CBT, but when I read it, actually is more than CBT, because CBT doesn't involve Allah in it, but Al-Balkhi's work, therapy, involve Allah in it. Okay, so that is why we need to develop Islamic psychology. That is why we have to switch our mindset in studying psychology, and it doesn't mean that we have to throw away everything that we have learned. We just need to purify them. We just need to see deeper to the current psychology, see more critically to the essence of what they are finding, and throw away the contamination, the trash, yeah, the philosophy, the conclusion that does not coherent with the Quranic and Sunnah Nabi's teaching. So the result of the evidence can also found in the result of the current study in psychology, but this evidence is still contaminated with many things that that is not coherent with our with the truth, actually. Yeah, it's not about belief or not belief, but this is the truth. The truth will prove itself by across history, by staying strong and staying correct, staying valid and undeniable. That's the truth. Yeah. All right. I think that's for the second session, and we'll have time to discuss about this. And I'll give back to the moderator. Thank you. Wallahu a'lam bishawab. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you, Mr. Bagus Riyono. It is very interesting from your presentation. Okay, all. I think it is time to join discussion session, but I apologize as moderator, I will not conclude to the topic that has been already given by the speaker. I think it is a very interesting for us, and I am sure its participants able to conclude it. And I think one question from Mr. Nasir Bafa. Okay, Mr. Bagus, this is science is more empirical evidences, while Islam is based on revelation for what God says. What can you say about being Islamic psychology as a science?
Okay, so we
Please,
have to,
yeah.
yes, thank you for the question. We have to learn what is empirical means. And if you look at the Wikipedia, the history about empirical study, it will also mention Ibn al-Haytham as the pioneer of empirical study by doing the experiment. So empirical study is Islamic because it's empirical means something that empirical means evidence-based, yeah, and Islamic psychology is also evidence-based. Islamic psychology is not only a study of the Quran, but also a study of the universe, study of the events in life, study of the human thought, human feeling, it's the whole thing. And what we call empirical is something that we find it in this universe and the human soul's dynamics. That's the empirical study. And the Quran is the judge for that. The Quran is the grand theory about everything. So when you do empirical study, you have to confirm it with the Quran. So Islamic psychology is not only based on Quran, but also based on the empirical study. Empirical study is different from positivism. Yeah, positivism is excluding, taking empirical study, but throwing away the logic and or I mean not the logic, the evidence beyond the empirical result. Yeah. So positivism is a reduction of the original empirical study, because the original empirical study by Ibn Haytham is inspired by the Quran. It is directed to be closer to Allah. But the positivism take the empirical discipline and throw away the belief to Allah. So you have to differentiate between positivism and empirical study. Okay, so there's no problem with empirical study, but we have to confirm it with Al-Quran. Is that clear?
Mr. Nasir Bafa, are you satisfied, or you want to give any questions? Mr. Nasir Bafa?
Yes, I'm satisfied with the answer given by Dr. Andy. I'm very happy to hear this. And since from the beginning, Ustaz has already given the answer to that question, and then now he shed more light about it. Thank you so much. I'm happy with it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Nasir Bafa. What about the other question? Everyone?
Maybe a question from Gita and Shakira. Nisa.
Shakira, okay.
Yeah. Gita asking about as a science, how Islamic psychology sees freedom as part of making choices.
Okay, is that the question? Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to go back to the initial evidence, evidence of freedom at the time when Allah created the Prophet Adam. The freedom is already there. So freedom is a human nature. Freedom is human capacity. Freedom is something that Allah gives to human being so that human being will be responsible for their choices. So that's why the current popular understanding about freedom, they deny the responsibility. They just want to do whatever they want, but they don't want to be responsible of what they are choosing. That's what's happening today, okay, with the liberalism and things like that. But the freedom actually is the human nature. It's not human rights. Human rights is human dignity. You can read it in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and the first article says that all human beings are born free. So meaning that freedom is something that we are born with, something that is given from Allah. But then it said with equal dignity and rights. So dignity is the status that we have to preserve. And then the next sentence is that Allah, or human beings, are endowed. Endowed means given by Allah, given by God, endowed with reason and conscience, and should treat each other with the spirit of brotherhood. So reason, conscience, and this spirit of brotherhood is the modalities that we have in order to preserve dignity, in order to limit our freedom, in order to be responsible of what we choose in our life. So Islam does not deny freedom. Islam acknowledges freedom, but freedom is not the highest virtues. Freedom is is a gift from Allah for us to use it wisely. Okay, freedom is the foundation of ikhtiyar and ijtihad, jihad, yeah, mujahada. So that can be done because we have freedom, and Allah will not change, you know, the fate of people if they don't exercise this freedom to show the effort. Yeah, to show the effort. Allah will help us when we show our effort. We can do this effort because we have freedom. But if we use our freedom to deny Allah, then that is the problem. Okay, so freedom is not a value. Freedom is a capacity. It's our capacity. Yeah, this is very understanding. Does that answer your question?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bagus. And other question from Isnaya Arina. Isnaya Arina. As Mr. Bagus said, forgiveness brings us to mental health if we really apply Islamic psychology properly. But on the other hand, forgiving is more difficult than apologizing. The fact a lot of things happen to forgive only in the mouth, not in the heart. What values in Islamic psychology can we instill in ourselves to make sure that forgiveness brings us both physical and mental health? Please, Mr. Bagus.
Okay, forgiving is the opposite of revenge, right? So if you don't forgive, then you will keep the the bad things in your heart, so that if you keep remembering and keep the bad treatment of other people in your heart, that will corrupt your own heart. So you will become you will have a psychological problem, because it will develop a prejudice, it will develop anxiety and maybe sadness, yeah, all of this, and anger also, yeah, and maybe also obsession. So if you do not forgive, you can develop all four psychological problems that will influence your emotion, your cognition, your behavior. By forgiving, you let go anything that, any bad happen that you experience, so you don't have a burden in your heart will be free. Okay, so that's the idea. I mean, that's the logic about forgiving. Okay, so that's why when you feel hurt, when you feel disappointed, when you are betrayed, you have to reframe your thinking. You have to see it from a different angle, yeah, so that you can forgive. Because when you don't forgive, it will make you suffer even more. Yeah, the revenge will will make you suffer even more than the actual bad things that happen to you, because you yourself is hurting yourself when you do not forgive. So that's the logic behind it. So that's why in the Quran we are asked more asked to forgive than to apologize. Yeah. For example, one ayat, Al-Imran, maybe Al-Imran, verse number 133, and and next maybe 5 to 7 ayat, it's talking about forgiving, not apologizing. When you apologize, actually it has to be not just apologizing, but you have to transform it to more powerful act, which is a tawbah. Okay, apologize is superficial, but tawbah is essential. So when you make mistake, don't just apologize. Yeah, of course you apologize is good, but that is not enough. You have to do tawbah. Tawbah means you regret you have done this, and you declare, you commit not to do it again, and you will change your attitude, your behavior into a better one. That's tawbah. Yeah, but apologize is only in, it's only words. Yeah, it's only in our mouth. Yeah, tawbah is the holistic. But if somebody do bad thing to you, what you should do is forgive. Yeah, that will free yourself from this bad feeling.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bagus. Mrs. Isnaya Arina, are you satisfied? Oh, thank you, Mr. Bagus. Okay, other questions from participants? Mr. Bagus, may I give one question for you, Mr. Bagus?
Yes, please.
Okay. Actually, I'm interested in the statements, life is journey from Allah to Allah. Would you like to explain further?
Yes, actually that was derived from Inna Lillahi wa Inna Ilaihi Raji'un. Yeah, it was mentioned in the Surah Al-Baqarah after the verse that say to us that surely we will have a test in our life. Yeah, we will have a test. We will suffer. We will experience some kind of suffering. Yeah, lack of food, death of our beloved one, and things like that. And then they said, give a good news for those who are sabr, who say inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. So inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un, if we translate it into English, is we are from Allah and we will go back to Allah. Yeah, so life actually is that is actually life. Yeah, that's tawhid. Yeah, everything comes from Allah, and we will give it back to Allah, including the knowledge comes from Allah, and we will bring it will bring us to go back to Allah. That's the spirit of tawhid. Yeah, that was expressed by Ibn al-Haytham. So actually, there's one more statement by Ibn al-Haytham. He said that the only way to get closer to Allah is through ilm, through science. Yeah, ilm, through evidence-based science. Yeah, that's the only way to go back to Allah. Because if we don't know about Allah, we don't know about ourselves, then we will be confused in this life, right? That is also the message of Imam Al-Ghazali in the book of The Alchemy of Happiness. So the Alchemy of Happiness have 4 chapters. The first is knowing yourself, the second is knowing Allah, and then knowing the life and knowing the afterlife. So knowledge is very important, how we understand what is happening to us. Okay.
Okay, thank you. What do you think about the life statement? The life is billah, fillah, and lillah.
Billah, fillah, and lillah.
And lillah. Yes.
Yeah, I think that's similar, has a similar meaning. It's from Allah, for Allah. Yeah, it's similar to the
another statement.
This is a similar meaning.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bagus.
The interesting thing is that's the Abraham Lincoln, famous saying. Yeah, from the people, by the people, and for the people. But it's not Allah, it's people. Yeah, they changed this. Filah, and ilah. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you,
Okay.
Mr. Bagus. And I have one question again from Mrs. Anisia. I think we totally agree that Islamic psychology has different paradigm from secular psychology, and the purpose is to find true mental health, with the anchor is only to Allah. I represent critical questions that ask about what is the difference with Christian psychology, Buddhism, then because all religions claim to have an anchor to God. How do we answer questions like this? Please, Mr. Bagus.
Well, this is quite a sensitive issue actually, but since I assume we are all Muslim here, so I hope nobody will spread the video in YouTube or whatever. The difference is their understanding about Allah. Yeah. The other religion perceive Allah in different way. So that's the problem. For example, in the Christian belief system, they see Allah as Father, something like that, right? So in the Buddhist, they don't. They see life. They see that there is no afterlife. That you just circle in this world, you know, transforming into another creature depend on your deed. So it's a reincarnation paradigm. There's no hereafter in the Buddhism. So that's why the other religion actually have a good intention, but the understanding is not quite valid about the reality of life and the reality of God, which is Allah. Yeah. So that will create the problem. I hope I am not offending anybody. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Bagus. What do you think, Mrs. Anisia Kumala? Are you satisfied?
Yeah, of course, because we are
Okay.
here.
Yeah.
But I represent a critical question, Mr. Bagus.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Tomorrow Bu Anisia became a host in UHAMKA. So today she has to come here to observe the situation now, I think.
No, I'm a participant today.
Participant. Oh yeah, participant.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Bagus.
Okay.
Itu
Are you
ada.
still the dean, Bu Anisia?
Yes.
Are you still the dean of UHAMKA Psychology?
Yeah.
Or still
next year.
Okay.
Bu Nisa, there is Ajeng Fadum will ask asking question.
Yeah.
Raise hand.
Oh, raise hand. Oh,
Yeah.
Can I still ask some question?
Okay.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, Bu Nisa and Mr. Bagus, and thank you, Professor Taufik. I have some question, and I think it's a basic. I'm sorry because I turned off my video because my connection is unstable. And my question is, based on some of my observation right now, the current phenomenon is that there are several statements among society that to spirit between Islamic aspect and mental health. Like, don't ask your client to pray if they are getting stressed, or don't ask your client to sabar when they are getting stressed, and a lot of many statements about it. And my question is, for example, such as Bu Nisa, me as a psychologist, how do we start to be able to implement or at least make people aware that these two things are related each other, like Islamic psychology also maybe may play influence on mental health on society and others. So maybe only about that, Professor Mr. Bagus, how do we start to able to implement or at least make people aware that Islamic and mental health is related each other? Thank you.
Okay, can I?
Please, Mr. Bagus.
Okay, the key here is again knowledge. You know, sabr is not just a word. Sabr has a very deep and comprehensive meaning. You know, like I found two ayat that say that you should seek help to Allah from Allah with sabr and salat, right? Sabr and salat. So what does it mean by sabr? In the other verse in Surah Al-Baqarah that I just mentioned, sabr means when somebody sabr means that he understands that life is inna lillahi wa inna ilahi rajiun. So understanding inna lillahi wa inna ilahi rajiun is also a form of sabr. So sabr is not just a word, it's not a slogan, it's not a mantra. Maybe you say sabar, sabar, sabar. You don't you don't treat them with that word. You treat them with the heart, the understanding, the sabr. And if you remember, you read the verse in the Surah Al-Insyirah, yeah, فَإِذَا فَرَغْتَ فَانْصَبْ وَإِلَى رَبِّكَ فَارْغَب. That's also sabr. You know, فَإِذَا فَرَغْتَ فَانْصَبْ is sabr. وَإِلَى رَبِّكَ فَارْغَب is salat. Yeah, remember Allah. So occupational therapy is a form of sabr. So you have to be busy. Being busy doing something is also a sabr, something useful, something beneficial. Yeah. So don't use just the word to advise people, because if you don't have the understanding and the other people also doesn't have the understanding about the word, then the word doesn't mean anything, right? So that's why if somebody have somebody lost their loved ones, you don't say sabar sabar, but you say inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi rajiun, right? So it reminds them to be sabr, not to tell them to sabr. Okay, that's different thing. So that's why knowledge is very important. You have to understand what is the meaning. What is the meaning of salat? Salat means remembering Allah, dhikrullah. Yeah, salat means you anchoring your hope to Allah. Salat means you believe that Allah is all forgiving, that Allah will solve your problem. So that's the meaning of salat. It's not just a word. It's not just a ritual. Yeah, that's why there's also the first fawailul lil musallin. Yeah, if you treat salat just a ritual, then you will be, you will, what is wailul what do you say in Indonesian? Celaka in Indonesian, yeah. What in English? Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why again you have to understand, you have to have the knowledge, you have to learn, you have to the term in Sharia is fiqh, yeah, tafaqquh. You have to learn the deep meaning of every word in the Quran so that you understand how to apply it. You cannot just say it. Yeah, you have to understand the meaning and the multi-dimensional aspect of this word. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bagus. It works a lot for me. Thank you, Bu Nisa.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Ajeng. Other questions from participants? Okay, Mr. Bagus. I have one question more from me about your statement about Islamic psychology is restoring the true psychology. Would you like
Maybe-
to explain further?
Nisa,
Yes,
maybe this is the last question, Nisa.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Prof. Taufik is a timekeeper. All right. Well, if we learn the history, actually psychology is it started. I mean, if we understand the essence of psychology, it's about psyche, right? Psyche is about the nafs, yeah, and the nafs has been, has been, what do you call it, established. It's been since its creation, the nafs is already it's kind of a fitrah, yeah, it's already there. It's the dynamics of it is already there, when the nafs is created. So psychology, the original psychology is actually started when we are created as human being, yeah. The knowledge about the nafs, knowledge about the soul, yeah, about the psyche. So that's why the current development of psychology is moving away from that essential knowledge, yeah. And if you listen to more extreme scholar, for example, Yuval Harari, yeah, Yuval Harari is actually a historian, but he also talk about the human being and also Homo Deus and whatever. He said that there is no soul. We are only algorithm. That death is only accident, and we can hijack death, something like that. So that kind of thinking is moving away farther and farther from the original study of the nafs. So Islamic psychology bring back to its original purpose of that knowledge. The purpose of the psychology actually to understand and to manage the nafs, to tazkiyah the nafs. That's the purpose of psychology. And that is the purpose of Islamic psychology. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bagus. Okay, all. What about other questions?
Okay. Pak Bagus may be tired because they have to speak. He has to speak into session. Nisa, enough?
What do you think?
Enough?
Okay, enough?
Okay.
I think
Okay.
We still have tomorrow, so we will still have
yeah,
questions.
see you again tomorrow in Jakarta, Pak Bagus. And Uhamka.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you all. I think it's enough, Mr. Taufik.
Enough because
Okay.
tomorrow
Yeah,
Mr.
thank
Bagus
you
will
all.
present again.
Yeah, I think all of Randon in international course today have finished well, clearly, and successfully. Thank you for Mr. Bagus Riyono as a speaker. You are very inspiring. Thank you to all of committee that helped me to facilitate as a moderator, and thank you to all of participants who are willing to attend and participate actively. As a moderator, apologize if I have a lot of mistake during our conference. Hopefully, this conference gives a lot of benefit to the participant. I wish we can meet in other sessions. Inshallah, Amin. Finally, I close the international course session 2 with Hamdalah. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. To Miss Kita, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Nisa Rahmanur Anganthi, and thank you, Dr. Bagus Riyono, Professor Taufik, and all of the participants for the contribution and meaningful session today. Before I close today's event, it would be great if we have some memories, right? So I hope all of you can please turn on your camera and the administrator will do a screenshot. Please turn on your camera first.
Please turn on your camera, all. Okay.
Okay, and
Yeah.
are the administrator ready? Okay, and I will count 1, 2, 3. Okay, we have 4 slides.
It is from Philippines. There are 4 people in one camera.
Okay, they are gathered together. Okay. Thank you for all the participants, and for the reminder, we still have 3 days more of this event. We will meet again on 19, 20, and 21st July, starting from 8 a.m. Indonesia time or GMT +7. And all of the materials and certificates of attendance will be shared on participants' email at the end of our session.